All right. Earlier this week, Tim spoke a little bit about one of our counterparts, Bill DeSavage from New Hampshire, had a horrific accident. Patty went out, got a card. I'm going to pass it around the room. Anybody wants to sign it, please feel free. Get it back to me, or I'll find it at the end of the day here. So, okay.
I'll make an announcement about anybody that wants to fund. I'll make an announcement in the morning about how you can donate if you're looking to do that. I think I'll have a QR code for the GoFundMe thing, and then if you want to mail directly, we'll have an an actual mailing address for him, and there's also the possibility of donating to their bureau, who's also collecting for them. I don't have all the details on that yet, but we'll make an announcement tomorrow.
Awesome, thanks. So, coming up, we have Andy Bannasch from Michigan DOT. He's gonna talk about their region lighting innovations.
Yeah, in Michigan we love green lights, as you can tell. I'm actually glad I'm going last because based on what you guys have already said, I think I can fill in a little gaps with the research. I've got the wavelengths with the cones of your eyes, so we'll get into it here. I won't go through a lot of legislation, but a little bit of background. At the 2013 North American NASTO conference, thank you, Ohio announced they were going to use green, amber, and white lights. At MDOT in 2015, we put a team together and piloted a green and amber. Local agencies, so the County Road Commission, the CRA got involved. We changed the law in 2016, so if the law does not mention the use of a color for an application, it cannot be used, at least in Michigan. And then we implemented a phase in of the use of green lights in 2017, and I can say it's not part of this presentation, but we actually do use green and amber on everything across the entire fleet, light fleet, all plow trucks, equipment, loaders, everything today. So this is the Michigan Vehicle Code, but the part that they changed that's highlighted in green here, you can see, or green lights, and they added, this subdivision does not prohibit the use of a flashing, rotating, or oscillating green light by fire service. I'm not quite sure what that command post thing means, but they added in for that specific purpose. And then they also changed this so you can have amber or green lights, and this you might find interesting. A vehicle engaged in authorized highway repair or maintenance may be equipped with flashing, rotating, or oscillating amber or green lights. And that means when you go to Michigan, all the contractors that are doing construction and maintenance have green lights, and they had them before we had them. So we're pretty heavy in the state with green lights. Even private businesses are using it, and probably some that shouldn't. So, but if you're involved in construction, you can use it, and you will see it if you're in Michigan. So there's existing research. I'm not going to go through each one. I'm just going to give you the key takeaways. So the TRB 624, placement, concerns with glare, slower flash patterns, more is not better, and we kind of all heard this morning. Minnesota DOT in 2006, that's where the steady burn, I think, kind of got started, and also in other research. And then Clear Roads in 2015, steady burn was also a finding in that, and the flashing for presence. So the science behind it, this is where I think I can fill in a little gaps here. They got a nice little chart with the wavelengths. Your eye is trained to see green the best. So scientifically, unless you're colorblind, you can see green the best, and we evolved to do that. And while green has the highest sensitivity, it also has the largest range of wavelength. I don't know what the range of wavelength means, but I looked it up at lunch. Red will penetrate fog the easiest because it has, because it's
sticks on that picture, one on the front, I'm sorry.
There were two, but the current, there were two sticks on that, but our current configuration only uses one,
Okay,
probably because they break on.
yeah. Got it.
They would probably prefer two.
One of the complaints in Kansas, you guys heard me say before, we're using the 5150 light, and it, as opposed to many of these light sticks where it has the 1 or 2 rows of LEDs up through the tube, it does a wrap, a continuous wrap, a spiral wrap all the way, and there are a lot of lights in that tube, and it's bright. Which you would think is good, and I do think it's good, but it also, we are getting complaints from operators about too much glare in mirrors. And so they've experimented with shielding, you know, part of it, so it's not so intense in their mirror.
Well, the tube that our garage supervisor actually is in charge of the build-up found, I don't know where he found it, but it is just a solid green plastic tube, and it has white lights in it. It looks like Woodzilla, but it's solid green. And actually, to me, it looks pretty good. It's not as bright as, the ones that they had in the conference room seem pretty bright.
Any other questions for Andy?
I guess I should have asked this question earlier, but any of you guys that deal with snow plowing, not me, do you have problems with like a halo around your lights reflecting off the snow itself if you're plowing during the snow?
She's a little bit on my realm of expertise, but I would say that I haven't heard any reports of that, but I feel like that there's always going to be a halo. If we got a light, especially if there's blowing snow, like within that video that I showed. Someone else might actually be able to fix that light.
In our areas where we get sometimes 5 to 7 inches an hour of snow, the lake effect, sometimes the operators will shut the headlights off because they can actually see better because the reflection isn't there. And a lot of the trucks in the North Country, Watertown, up around the Canadian border, they put amber fog lights on, and they'll run those, and then you don't get that bounce back from the snow or the white lights.
Anybody else? I will say one thing, that going from the LEDs, or going from the halogen strobe to the LEDs, and we have industry people in the room, you don't get that snow freeze anymore. That, where it looks like it's just stopped. That used to drive the drivers nuts. It almost make your eyes go buggy. If anybody that's been around long enough to know what the original halogen strobes used to do. So, anybody else? Thanks, Andy.